we shared a bit about meditation and want to speak about resting naturally as an ultimate meditation. How to rest naturally, short moments, the ultimate meditation. So the goal of meditation is often defined as the mental stability that continues throughout day and night, in complete equanimity, no matter what is appearing in one's mind. People all over the world are finding that an underlying intelligence reveals itself through the power of leaving the mind in its natural state of awareness, of open intelligence. So I really like that the goal of meditation is this mental stability and equanimity throughout the day, no matter what happens. And when we look at our experience, and when I look at my experience with realization and the short moments of open intelligence, that's exactly what I can see in my direct experience, that the short moments supports resting naturally throughout the day without being at the whim of all my thoughts and emotions, and not being on a roller coaster ride, so to speak, of ups and downs, and resting in that equalness and evenness of open intelligence while feeling everything powerfully. And yeah, the power of a short moment here becomes obvious just by taking short moments, really. So there's no need to change or correct the flow of mental events. By altering the natural flow of the mind, this intelligence remains hidden and outside one's experience. So this intelligence, this open intelligence, when we just focus on the descriptions of our thoughts and emotions, and having stories around what is coming up and what is happening, then this powerful intelligence remains unnoticed. And even though it's naturally present, it's always naturally present, and doesn't come or go anywhere. It's unnoticed, and that's the power of a short moment, to make it more and more obvious, and to acknowledge this powerful intelligence that is at the basis of all the thoughts and emotions. So that's why it says there's no need to change the flow of our ups and downs, basically, even though we can take care of our body-mind, to find this natural peace and restfulness within oneself that is naturally present no matter what is going on. So what we can expect to find is the secret intelligence, is perfect mental stability, empathy, and skillful activities, and ideas that are of benefit to all. So we can expect to be warmer, friendlier, and more cooperative in a very natural way. So when we get familiar with that natural ease of being, we are not at the whim of reactions to our data, to our thoughts and emotion, like we react on anger, irritation, and all these, like frustration, all these data that can create all kinds of conflict and circumstances within oneself or with another person. So it's like a hidden gem, this open intelligence power that gives us the ability to respond to situations, to be in situations from a vantage of clarity and ease. We don't necessarily feel ease, yet that's the power of open intelligence too. I can see that ease of being is naturally present. Mm. Jochen, would you like to continue there?
Sure. By relying on short moments of open intelligence becomes increasingly obvious. At the very moment data form rely on powerful and spacious open intelligence. That is a short moment of open intelligence. So as we go about our day, that's the beauty, one of the many beautiful aspects of this practice is that we we don't need to be sitting or doing anything in particular in order to practice this form of meditation. It is fully integrated into day-to-day life. And we can tap into our innate intelligence, the treasure we have within, anytime we remember. Upon the introduction, once we know what that open intelligence is directly in our experience, we can access that. We can tap into it. And that is a short moment of open intelligence. And often challenging data in particular are a reminder for that, or they become a reminder. Maybe initially they're just the launch pad into a lot of elaborations and analyzing and trying to push them away. But the more familiar we become with the ease of being, with resting as that essence, as that intelligence within us, then we notice this tension that arises from the elaboration, from running with these thoughts and emotions. And it becomes a reminder, those high energy states become a reminder to rest, even just for a moment, just for a short moment. By the power of simply relying on open intelligence, it becomes increasingly obvious and data vanish naturally. Now, we don't make them vanish through the practice. That's actually not the point. So sometimes we might be trying to wrest our data away, but that's not the point of the practice. The point here actually is to rest as open intelligence and recognize that data vanish naturally all the time. You may have heard the term impermanence from Buddhism. And that's exactly what this means, is that nothing ever sticks. So we don't need to practice in order for that to occur. This already occurs. Like if you just observe your mind stream for a moment, you can see there is one thought after another, one sensation after another. There is never like a prolonged time where a thought, exactly that thought lingers. It's usually a circling in certain thoughts or one thought after another, but there is no like stillness in the descriptions. Increasingly, your power and energy become grounded in open intelligence rather than in data. So we find that from resting as that innate intelligence, we have the clarity and the potency, the power to be in the world, fully immersed in the world. So this isn't a retreating into a bubble or like an escape hatch into something that's much nicer than our experience. It allows us to be fully immersed in daily life and the world while being grounded in the essence of our being. Much like the ocean is so calm and easeful at the bottom, and no matter what the waves are doing, this fundamental nature, the essence of this depth and calm don't change, even if there are turbulent waves. So too in our mind there can be turbulent waves, but the essence, the power that comes from there are unchanging and are always available in every moment that we tap into them.
By repeatedly allowing the power and ease of open intelligence becomes increasingly obvious and automatic. So this allowing the power and ease of open intelligence is like, that's the practice of short moments. That's taking a short moment of open intelligence throughout the day, just right now and whenever we remember. And even sometimes we don't know what that means. It simply by hearing about open intelligence and coming to such meetings like this and confirming this power, this intelligence that is naturally present. It's our natural state. So it becomes more obvious. So with an easygoing attitude, like a person who has nothing more to do, rest in whatever way is comfortable, neither tense nor loose. Rest naturally in the carefree openness of open intelligence. So there's no specific way to rest naturally. We can do it in all daily activities. So like our topic today, like, do we need to sit in meditation for that? We can, if we enjoy that. It's not necessary to recognize open intelligence while we're sitting or while we are being quiet. It's simply present throughout all, like talking right now or running, doing any kind of tasks you either like to do or not like to do. Open intelligence is naturally present. So that is really what I really loved, even though I like meditation. And it gets easier to meditate when we can allow all the data to be as it is, so we don't have to get into a special state. We can just simply allow the flow of thoughts and emotions to be as they are and rest as what's looking. And yeah, by the power of these short moments while meditating or while washing dishes, you will come to see that every thought you have, every emotion you have, every sensation you have, and every experience you have has as its essence complete peace. So as complete ease, complete peace as its essence is naturally more obvious when we gain confidence in this natural state, in our open intelligence, without contriving anything special, like having no thoughts or having good thoughts or even peaceful thoughts. So it's like a one simple change in how we use our mind. So we either focus on the descriptions or we rest naturally as open intelligence. We take a short moment, and the descriptions don't have to go anywhere. So by relying on this one simple change that is found in open intelligence, we prove to ourselves that it's powerful beyond measures. So we can recognize that powerful, skillful means that we have available in any moment to deal with our thoughts and emotions. Basically, it's a way to rest naturally while maybe the thoughts are wild and running, or the emotions feel very intense. So that's the practice of short moments, and whenever we remember, we take one. The sky is a metaphor for open intelligence, like the vast sky. Everything appears within the sky. Everything is fresh, clean, and beautiful. And everything appears, we have just fog right now. So, well, not total fog, just light fog. The sun is trying to come through. So yes, so there's everything appears within the space of sky. And it has no beginning, middle, or end, no place where it's coming or going. And similarly, open intelligence is open and spacious like the sky. And spontaneous and indivisible. Sometimes looking into the sky and resting naturally is a powerful metaphor to evoke that spaciousness of mind that isn't like caught up into limitations, and everything appears within the sky. And that's the same as our thoughts and emotions. By the power of open intelligence, disturbing states are spontaneously left unrejected. That's really new, because usually we're very busy trying to get rid of something that feels uncomfortable. But when there's a moment of relaxation or a moment of letting it be as it is, we don't even have to feel relaxed, just letting it be as it is. Open intelligence becomes more obvious and shines forth, like sky shines forth as sky. So that like it just simply is as it is, and open intelligence power can take over, basically. But it's nothing that we are efforting for.
Therefore, simply relax. Simply stay in your own place, in your own condition, just as it is. Relax fixed reference points. Open intelligence is without struggle, without strain, without attempts to control or force, without trying to become clear. Yeah, so like each sentence is so perfect for a mind like mine. You know, being really, really accustomed to being busy, to keeping myself busy, to define myself by what I do and how much I get done and all of that, to just simply relax right now, exactly as I am, exactly as it is, was such a foreign idea to me. I always thought once I've done my inbox, I can relax, or once I'm done with like making the garden look pretty, then I can relax. And to notice that I can actually relax right now and then be at ease while I go through my inbox or while I do the lawn or, even while I think about a problem, to know that the relaxation, the ease of being is in the problem as much as it is after the problem is so great. No more struggle for that. No more attempting to change or manipulate, manage myself, but just really letting that all flow. It's viscerally, like physically, such a relaxing way of being with ourselves instead of trying to force myself and make myself, control myself into some ideal person like that looks like as easeful as this person there looking in the sunset or sunrise, not sure. Um, and often really not having that experience, like more being like um, a busy person in the world, and to see that I can feel like that in my natural way of being in the world, which is to be more busy. And so to blend this ease of being with the being active in the world is really powerful. And not trying to become clear. I love the metaphor of the mind being like the crystal ball that is always clear. Like regardless of what appears within the crystal ball, the mind itself is always clear. The crystal ball-like nature of mind is exactly the same, whether it reflects a bright, clear sky or fog or haze or smoke. The clarity itself always is untarnished by whatever the crystal ball reflects. So whatever arises in our mind, it only arises due to the clarity of the mind in the clear expanse of the mind.
Data are liberated in the immediacy of perception by the power of applying the essential instruction for freeing data. Short moments of open intelligence many times become continuous. Complete perceptual openness in our experience is automatic. Yeah, so complete perceptual openness is like there's perceptions that we cannot change what we think or feel. It's like countless thoughts and countless emotions. They are unpredictable and they also never end. But there is no open intelligence without these thoughts and emotions. So they are inseparable, open intelligence and these thoughts and emotions. We call them data. And so the essential instructions for freeing data is allowing the short moments to become obvious, short moments of open intelligence throughout the day. And just by repeating short moments, it sometimes sounds so simple. And of course, it's not always easy, but it has this simple quality to who we are. So, because we already are naturally at ease and open, that's why it's so simple. And but obviously that training on our data streams, meaning our thoughts and emotions, and having placed so much emphasis on them, is simply why open intelligence, that natural state of being, went unrecognized. That makes so much sense. It's like, oh, okay. It's actually how we are meant to be. When we think of being a child or look at children, we can sometimes recognize that moment of ease of being that is simply present, the spontaneity. And it's not like necessarily being a child, but there has that quality of ease of being that does never change. And obviously it can be very useful to have thoughts. Then all thoughts and emotions can bring wisdom. So there's nothing that needs to go away, really. So the complete perceptual openness in all experience gives us the power to see clearly and to find wisdom. So one moment of instantaneous open intelligence brings more clarity than a lifetime of contrived meditation. That's a powerful statement, really. But when you look at what it means to contrive meditation and maybe focus on one thought or focus on one object or try to get into states, in my experience, there was always there can be powerful results from that as well. But the clarity that is obvious when you see through all data, when you see through all the thoughts and emotions that you ever had, have, and will have, that instant of clarity can never be a state. It's something that is a quality that is naturally present within everything. And that cannot be meditated upon or contrived or be even brought about. It can only come when we stop stirring in the muddy pond. That metaphor I like. It's like muddy pond. We stir around, more mud. Stopping, the sediment settles and the clarity arises. So this kind of clarity is naturally present in a short moment. And it might not be immediately obvious when we start practicing. So we just show up and continue practicing. Over the many years, I recognize these qualities. They just come about in daily life. I think, wow, that I could have never anticipated. That is what clarity is. That is what the stability means. Because it's not a contrived sense, feeling, or thing. So it's just simply after a while when we just show up without knowing if this will work or not, almost like that. It's like we see it in other people. That is where the confidence comes about. Yeah. So, that one moment of instantaneous open intelligence introduces us to that about ourselves that will never change. It's that indestructible, powerful essence. Clarity that will never change, is always present and naturally present. So in this sense, every moment would be the ultimate meditation, no matter what the moment may contain, no matter what we are doing. We might be sitting in meditation, which we can choose to do so with. And sometimes it's easier to rest naturally when everything is when we are not like active or interacting with people or doing things. So that's perfect to gain confidence even in with short moments of open intelligence. But the key is that we're not trying to get somewhere into a state or allow the flow of data. So once I was introduced to open intelligence, my meditation completely changed. I actually a while didn't meditate then, but that's just personal. But then sometimes I still like it, so it's more spontaneous now because there's nothing really to get in or out of meditation. But it still can be supportive at times if one enjoys that. But the ultimate meditation, knowing that, was just such a relief. We don't always talk about meditation. It's just today because of the topic. Short moments doesn't need even mentioning of meditation. That's also really good. People who have no background in meditation don't even ever have to hear that word. But but then to understand it from a perspective of short moments is amazing. Yeah. We actually meditated so many hours a day. Like before we met the teaching, probably 3 hours a day or something.
At least,
like,
yeah.
it was just trying to find that peace and that restfulness. And I thought, well, we need that to be free. Yeah. And then life goes on and everything gets off the cushion. It gets kind of stirred up and then back on the cushion. And meeting this teaching was like, okay, wait a minute. That is suddenly that need to sit and meditate a certain way dropped away.
Hi, thank you, Katerina. I really resonate with the meditating for 3 hours because that's what I do every day in the morning as soon as I wake up. And I'm like, okay, most of the time I fall asleep, which I think is okay because I need rest because I don't sleep really very well at all. So I tend to be like exhausted constantly, and I do have some medical challenges, which I think contribute to that. As well as in environmental situations, like my living situation. So I find when I meditate and I fall asleep, like I'm okay with that. I accept it, and I think it's okay. But when you're suggesting that short moment can sort of be just as beneficial, or if not more than those 3 hours, like I'm like, oh, that's sort of shocking to me. I do find it very relaxing, like to take short moments. And I find that I want to just relax and rest pretty much all the time. Like, because there are situations in my life that I don't really want to deal with. Like I'm already doing a lot. And then there are things that need to get done that are, I view them as unpleasant. And I don't actually want to do them at all. So there's like an aversion towards these activities. So I appreciated what Jochen said about being able to complete things in a rested state. Because I notice I tend to feel sort of stressed when I'm trying to do these things. And I don't really understand what you said about like the mind is always clear, even when there are thoughts, like, and there are thoughts and emotional sensations arising, like the mind is always clear. Not sure if I understood that correctly.
Thank you, Tasia. It's good to hear from you. Yeah, there were quite a few points there. Maybe I hope I catch everything. Kati, you can add you can add more, but maybe starting with the 3 hours of meditation, if you find this helpful for you, then great, like I know people who basically just want to do nothing more but sit in a cave and meditate all day, and there is nothing at all wrong with that. And um, you can take short and long moments of complete relaxation while meditating. I've been on 10-hour retreat, like 10 hours a day retreats, and they were some of the most excruciating, tumultuous times for me in my own mind. Even though my body was to be sat in complete stillness, my mind was going berserk, and if for you it's useful and helpful. You mentioned also that you don't sleep well, and it's nice to just do this in the morning. That's great. Like, I find meditation today is something nice to do for this animal body that was designed for a very natural environment, and is today bombarded with hundreds of emails, messages, notifications, things I need to do, bills I need to pay. This isn't like what this body was evolving for hundreds of thousands of years. So if you find that quieting your nervous system, giving that some calm through sitting quietly, that's great. Like, just go for it. And so there is no competition here between meditation and short moments. The point is just weave those short moments into that and recognize, and this is really the key point that changed everything for me. Recognize that the awareness that's aware of the piece you find on the cushion, that awareness is that spacious ease of being that you can tap into amidst a busy day. It's like otherwise we get, you could say, hooked on always feeling calm. That's like one of the traps of meditation. Also, one of it could even be a trap of taking short moments. Like, if we think that the short moment always leads to feeling calm, then we identify our practice with a specific state. There is a beautiful teaching by our teacher's teacher, Pandora Rinpoche, where he says, whenever you feel clarity or non-conceptuality or really, really calm, that's when you need to notice the awareness that's aware of that. So you don't mix up the result of your practice with the actual practice. And that's for me like a constant reminder. I love feeling calm. I rarely am. Like, I am at the essence, but not on the surface. And I love that. And it's so tempting for this mind to make that into a thing and then to try to be calm, which that's when it becomes really tricky. When we try to have a certain outcome of our practice, because then we're actually trying to change what we are experiencing right now. And we try to take short moments to change what arises. And the point of the practice is exactly the opposite. It's we allow that to be as it is. Hi, Rick. We allow that to be as it is. And in that, and that's, the paradox, in that we find that ease of being. But if we try to be at ease, like at all costs, so to speak, that's when I got so contorted in my mind, and it drove me nuts. Kati is smiling because she was usually at the receiving end of my questions and doubts, like, this isn't working. I'm not feeling calm. But then in the actual recognition of awareness just as it is, or taking a bath in the media, just listening to a talk, reading a section in a book, and just not bothering even about how should I practice this properly, that ease of being revealed itself more and more. So I'm confident to speak that this actually works, because if it works for my kind of mind, I think most kinds of minds can experience this ease of being as well. Yeah. So, and then lastly, the clarity of mind. If that didn't make complete sense, I understand. I do like this analogy of the crystal ball. It's easier than explaining it conceptually. You know, if this crystal ball reflects, I can't show that now that it reflects the clear blue sky, but just imagine a clear blue sky reflected here, like really beautiful, clear blue sky. And then imagine smoke being reflected, or haziness, or the fog that Kati mentioned we have this morning here. The clarity of the crystal ball itself never changes. That's what the clarity of mind is. So you might be very clearly aware of confusion. But that's what arises in the clarity of mind. Oh, I'm confused. That's the clarity of mind. And if we don't meddle with that, typically the confusion releases into the next thought that we have. You might still not know what to do. You know, that is then what you know. I don't know what to do right now. What could support me to become more clear? Like clear more in a conventional use of the word, you know, to know what I could do next. You know, I ask my friends, or I read a book, or watch a YouTube video, or whatever might help to find the next step. But all of this arises in the crystal clear nature of mind that never changes. It's impossible to make the nature of mind unclear. That clarity is a built-in feature.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm the awareness that is aware of the state of mind that I'm in, whatever I'm experiencing.
Right.
And so how can I complete tasks like that, like are urgent and important, but that are unpleasant, like you know, taking someone to court, like standing up for my rights, like things like that. But I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. Like it's so much easier not to do this, but I have to do it. So how can I be more relaxed with these stressful situations?
Yeah, well, bless your heart. You know, for comparison, like what Siji Rinpoche often shares for moments like this is, you know, the Tibetans when their country was invaded during the, you know, the invasion of the late 50s, and they had to flee often in the middle of the night and lost many of their companions along the way. I don't think they felt relaxed while they fled. You know, like it's not, well, I have no idea, but I wouldn't think, you know, and of course in their mind, and many reported after, they felt depressed, they were sick, they were afraid for their life, they were afraid for their loved ones. So we go through the emotions of being a human being. That's all part of our experience. Finding moments of rest there allows us to let that energy move through us, rather than it sticking and, you know, like taking over, so to speak, and controlling our qualities and activities in the world. But the actual practice you asked how to is literally the short moments. That's at least what we're teaching here. There might be other practices, of course, but it's tapping into this awareness that you just mentioned, the awareness that's aware, resting there for literally a short moment and continuing with what you're doing. We don't need to pause what we're doing. It's while we're moving that we can notice the awareness at the basis. And then over time, it becomes more more natural and more automatic to remain as that.
Okay, thank you. I really like everything you said, like, because I think that's what's been happening with me. Like, I've been sticking with these emotions. They've been sort of sticking inside of me and causing lots of pain and tension. Because I guess I'm holding on to them or whatever. And I like what you said earlier about, like, we have all of the stimuli and our bodies are not really evolved to, like, withstand all this stuff. And I do feel like that person. I just want to go into a cave and stay there, give me my own private island, So yeah, there's a lot of stimuli, and I want it to be less for sure.
And that might be part of your choices. Is I know this is easier said than done. In the real world where we need to pay bills and do stuff, but it might be that you choose a life that is more, that has built-in relaxation paths, where you just do this out of the kindness of your heart to your own body, and you give yourself moments like that. When I did the 12 empowerments afterwards, I asked Rinpoche, may I please go for half a year into a cave? I just want to integrate this. And she said, you could, but we have work to do. And so she involved me, and I was the busiest I've ever been. But for me, that was actually really good, because I could integrate these short moments into the busyness. That was, I think it would have been much harder for me actually to try and be at rest in a place without being active. So, but for other people, for sure, having these islands of rest and building that into your day. I remember a time when I was like, just my nervous system was quite agitated for a number of reasons, and I did actually spend more time on the cushion. We have a nice deck out here in the backyard that faces the part of nature, and I just sat there and did some breathing exercises, and enjoyed the deer coming by and some foxes and sometimes a little rabbit that was a rare visitor, but sometimes the little rabbit hopped by, and raccoons and skunks. And so it's just being, ultimately, not being glued to a screen, not just being. You could do that anywhere. Some people like to hike, some people I like to go surfing instead of sitting in the backyard. So it could be anything. But so giving yourself that time and space is, I would more call that kindness to my body, rather than, it's not like my ultimate practice for the mind in terms of what you would call traditionally liberation, awakening, enlightenment, that kind of thing. You can do that anywhere, but just resting the mind and the body in a more easeful space is just nice. Anyway, I was talking forever. Kati, do you want to add anything? You're just beaming and smiling there, so I just kept on talking.
It's perfect. It's just perfect.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know we're almost at the end, but Rick, nice to meet you. I don't think we've met before, have we? Did I forget that we met?
No, we've never met. This was like the first time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't do Zoom calls very often, so I don't especially on my phone, so I don't know how it works. But yeah, I've never met anyone. I started watching some videos of Balanced View probably about 8 years ago, and I think you were in the mix, and I listened to a bunch of stuff, and I learned to meditate when I was 20, so that was like 34 years ago. I took transcendental meditation, and I still practice it from time to time. But I find it really, when you were talking about meditation, and I'm thinking, okay, so meditation in relation to short moments, or short moments in relation to meditation. Obviously, short moments is a type of meditation. It's kind of obvious, but I like that it's not talked of in that way. And but the reason that I was curious to kind of come in, I always want to come into these videos when you send them out, like into these meetings, but this one really caught me because I remember when I learned to meditate, so that would have been in 1990, we were having meetings, every couple weeks with my teacher. He would have some of the practitioners go to his house, and we talk about our experiences and stuff. And so there I was around all of these people who had been practicing the transcendental meditation for years. And I said, well, so yeah, I meditate twice, like for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. And it's great. It's fantastic. But what happens when something comes up during the day? Because their prescription is you don't sit down and meditate like, okay, I've experienced something, so sit down and meditate. That's not the prescription. It's like you meditate in the morning, you meditate in the evening, and you get these profound benefits. Like, that's not the point. The point is, like, you do get these profound benefits, but my question was, when I see something and I recognize that something needs to be done, like on that sort of mental, spiritual balance plane, what do I do? And their answer was always, you just wait until your next time and you meditate, you transcend, because it's transcendental meditation. And then I started to listen to Balanced View and hear you guys speak, and I'm like, that was the answer that I was looking for 35 years ago, was just take a short moment. But they didn't have that answer. And that, I find that interesting, that even a practice as really practical and satisfying and results oriented as transcendental meditation, they don't really have that answer. And I found that short moments is it's just an amazing kind of flip side to that. Like, that was the answer I was looking for. So yeah, so meditation is great, and I don't think I could deal without it. But this idea of doing, like, it's almost like the short moment is a way to integrate your peace into your activity in a way that other meditations do, but they don't have something you can do during your activity. So I find that incredible, because this is when we're looking for that result, or that answer is when we're in activity. That's when we get the stress, and when we get to that point where we want to be able to do something in the right direction. Taking a short moment it's just an excellent prescription. Yeah. So, but yeah, sorry, you didn't see me because I had to lay down. I just got back from the gym and I was so tired, but I'm like, I can't miss this. So I laid down and pointed my phone to the ceiling, and I even think I fell asleep there, but that's okay. And so it's very nice meeting you guys, like to say hi, because I have been exposed to you guys for like probably a decade or more. I don't know. But yeah.
That's so nice. Thank you for sharing. That's also really profound and so nice to know, to meet you.
Yeah, and it's actually my meditation teacher that that's how I learned about balanced view.
Mm.
Is he ended up, or maybe I came across it and I said, oh yeah, that's what it was. I said, hey Blaine, have you ever heard of this thing called balanced view? And his response was, oh yeah, I like balanced view. Those guys are awesome.
That's great.
Because he probably realized that, I think he probably realized at that time, actually, yeah, for you, I think balanced view would be really cool because that would answer your questions that you've been asking all this time. Yeah.
That's great. That's nice.
Yeah, so I actually forget though. Sometimes I forget about balanced view and I forget about short moments. And then it could be, say, 8 months will go by. And then all of a sudden one day it's like, oh, maybe I should take a short moment. And I take a short moment. It's like, okay, thank you. Thank you for, I thank the universe for reminding me again.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably very much automatic for you.
At this point it is, but I'm at the age now where my ability to deal with stress, or my inability to deal with stress, is more replaced with questions like what am I doing? Like where is my ultimate contentment going to come from as I get older, stuff like that. So that's quite a flip. You go from, it's almost like sometimes I feel like I'm too stress free. No, I shouldn't say that, because that's okay. I don't mind being stress free. Or I get these questions like, well, if you just keep being stress free, when are you going to amount to anything? When are you going to get what you really want? Right? Those are the questions I have. So, and short moments help with that too. It's like, oh yeah, it doesn't really matter what you want. You can still strive for that, but ultimately that's not really what's going to bring you the contentment, is getting what you want. Because that never really truly happens, right? Like it's all of our wants and desires are all just a kind of an illusion, it seems. And being able to have that integration, to be able to say, I can just see it all as it is. It's like, it is pretty amazing. It's so weird, because when I talk to you, when I now am talking to you, I've never talked to anyone in balanced view before. But it is so weird because when you're talking about all of the short moments and the open intelligence and all that stuff, like, to me, it makes sense. Like it does make sense. But it's very it's a real treat to actually talk to people who know that that's something that we really benefit by paying attention to.
Yeah.
Because that's my biggest problem, is in my social circles, and just people in general, they just don't pay attention to what really matters. And even the people who are like totally against climate change, and they want to change the world, and they don't want to eat animals, and they're really into everything, but still you can tell that they're just missing a basis of our experience, right?
Yeah, totally understand. Yeah,
So it's
and it's
very refreshing to meet you guys and talk.
yeah,
Yeah.
really nice. Well, it would be nice to talk more, and it actually really enhances realization to talk together about, because we are together realizing open intelligence. Basically, it's more obvious. So in that way, it's also really precious and nice to talk and
Yeah,
share
which
those
actually
experiences.
it's part of when I first got exposed to balanced view, and short moments, it was really difficult to understand the four mainstays. I thought, okay, short moments are great, but why do I need this? Why do I need that? And now I guess it's a maturity or something, but I'm understanding that, yeah, like actually talking to another human being about what you're really all about is actually an important step.
Right.
So it's nice, and that it's so beautiful that we have technology today that allows anyone in the world to be able to do that, because there must have been so many people throughout history that got to that point, but then had no avenue to take it that one step further and say, hey, you know what? I'd like to have a little chat with someone about this.
Yeah.
You know, and
Amazing that it's possible.
here we are, and it's possible for everyone, which is really that's one of the things about technology, is it creates stress and it's always in our face, but wow, if you can see the opportunity that it affords as well, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really true. Yeah, so that's it. We're lucky there. Nice. Well, it would be nice to see you again. I know that we have to move to some next meetings, but
Okay.
yes, but
I honestly don't know how to hang up.
it will automatically stop when we all log out, but there's a leave button somewhere below.
Okay, I don't see anything. I'm basically going to close the app and hope for the best. Okay.
Yeah, that's
so nice to see you guys.
So
Thank you.
hope to see you soon again. See you all next week.
Nice to
Bye
see
bye.
you too, Rick.